in tribute to him and also to have the money help defray his medical costs. And I was really excited about it. I really did try to get something written and then I didn't. And I feel kind of guilty about that because I think a lot of the kind of things I write would have fit in well. But because I did not write anything and because I suffer from, guilt, therefore I'm going to pimp the product today. If you go to Amazon.com and look up Paradise Found Tales from the Library, and I will post a link to that in the stream. Let me see if I can get it. There we go. Um, that book is a book that was put together by Val Griswold Ford and Kaya Fable and a number of other people when their friend Scott Pond got cancer. They wanted to help. And on the way back from a con, they sat down and did some talking and came up with ideas. And then they started harassing the lot of us and asking for short stories. And so editing was done, stories were put in. And like I said, I didn't make the deadline. So not only did I didn't, it's not even that I didn't make the cut, I didn't even finish anything, which is horrible. But the book looks amazing. There are top notch authors in it. Let me just read to you the list here. We have Keith Hughes, Val Griswold Ford, Morningstar Hughes, Catherine Scannell, Lai Zhao, Jennifer Povey, Doc Coleman, L.J. Cohen, Paul K. Ellis, and Kaya Fable is one of the editors. The list of people who are in this book are phenomenal. These are people who write really wonderful sort of dark noir fiction, and I just want to. So this is the from the information on Amazon. It says, "Welcome to Paradise City, where every god known to man and quite a few others can be at any time. It's a place where a person can become everything they ever wanted or lose everything they've ever known, and the only constant is the library. The Library of Alexandria, rescued from Terra long ago by its founder, Ptolemy I, and brought to Paradise City, is where all the answers are. The question is, can you find them?" And so this is an anthology of dark fiction that takes place in or around the library in a shared universe. And some of the stories I've kind of gotten little bits and pieces here and there because I was part of the group that was putting the stories together. They're phenomenal. This is a group of people getting together and doing something not for themselves, but to help another person. And in doing so, they're helping themselves because I don't know if you know anything about writers, but when we write, we are better people. When we don't write, we get mentally constipated and bad things happen. And it's true. I hate to say that, but it is true. We have to write. If we're not writing, we get grumpy and unhappy, and things don't happen in the right way. This anthology is reaching out and helping many people. I highly recommend it. I know some of the authors, I know the people who put it together, I know the world uh, in passing, and it's going to be just incredible. So go out there and buy it. It's available on Kindle right now. I'm not sure if they're getting a hard copy, probably at some point. Um, but go and get it. It's going to be a fun way to while away some of these. Now that autumn is here, we've got, rain is going to be coming in. It's going to be chilly. You're going to want to sit around the fire and just kind of take it easy and relax before you finally deign to turn the furnace on in November. Um, this is just so exciting. And I love the idea of getting together and doing something to help others. Um, for those of you who don't know, I did something similar a number of years ago. Um, I wrote a book called um, Longing for Wisdom, The Message of the Maxims. And I'll actually put my little link to it down here too in case you're interested. It was the first full-length book that I wrote, and it is about the maxims which were written on a plinth or a stone just outside of the Temple of Apollo at Delphi. And they're very simple. The three that people know the best are know yourself, nothing in excess, and give a pledge and ruin is near. So it was an interesting series of sort of a cross between self-help book and um, a study on Hellenic polytheism and Reconstructionism. But I did not take any of the money for that book. I probably would be financially stable if I had, because it sold a lot better than we thought it would. Um, but I was part of a group at the time that was trying to create a series of books about the Hellenic gods and the Egyptian gods. And I found that to be very worthy. And so I donated the book to them. And while I occasionally look back on it now and go, gee, it would have been nice to have the money. You know what? I have a wonderful feeling that I helped out a group who are still going strong and putting out anthologies today, partly because of the donation that I made. I think that's a great thing. Not everybody can afford to do that, and I understand, but those of us who can should, in my opinion. I may not give big at the grocery store in the little tins, but I give to my food bank and I give to local causes and I help out people in my neighborhood and I help out with the New Hampshire Food Bank through New Hampshire Ren Fair and a number of other things. Doing stuff like that feeds your soul. And when you feed your soul, you actually get better at writing because if your soul is calm, that's reflected in what you're writing. Even if you're writing dark, scary vampire novels, having a calm soul helps get the words out. Um, as you know, I've been sort of putting off the final push with Bloodwater, and that's partly because I was waiting on people to read it, but partly because I just wasn't prepared. The Bloodstone came together very easily, and although there was a long period where I was editing heavily, the storyline itself came very, very quickly and very smoothly because I had role played kind of most of that years and years and years ago. And so it was already a storyline in my head. And it was only kind of the last chapter and a half that was something new and that I hadn't thought over 100,000 times in the intervening years. This book, Bloodwater, is completely new adventure. And I wrote it during NaNoWriMo last year, and I'm very proud of that, and I was very pleased with the finished product. But it is not a finished product, and there were a couple of places where it was not the best book it could be, and I decided a couple of months ago that I would rather release it later in September rather than in August, um, rather than put out a substandard product. I want my fans and my readers to have the opportunity to read the story they deserve, and it isn't quite there yet. And I was so sort of caught up in my summer busyness that I wasn't able to attach my brain to the story. And so now that sort of colder weather is coming and the kids are going back to school and my sister is back in school and my life is kind of settling into a very happy um, joyous love filled rhythm. I feel a lot more inclined to sit down and write. um, this week is going to be filled with getting prepared to go to Harpers Retreat, which is an SCA event happening this coming weekend at Camp Dakota in Richmond, New Hampshire. And if you look up Harper's Retreat SCA on Google, you'll find us. Um, it's an open event. Anybody's welcome to come. If you don't have costuming, that's okay. We have stuff for loaning. Um, And it's a blast. It's one of my I think it is my favorite event, really, because it's so close to my house, and we take all the things. Instead of having to sort of condense everything into one trailer, we actually go down twice and take all of our stuff because we're so close, it's 30 minutes away from my place. And we're doing a cooking demo, and I'm doing a talk on how to speak forsoothly, how to project and speak in court and speak on a battlefield and that kind of thing. And I'm cooking food for people, and it's just going to be a great weekend. Um, my love is going to be there, and my kid's going to be actually all my kids are going to be there. My sis is going to be there, and so I mean it's just going to be a wonderful weekend. If you want to come down and see myself, feel free. If you want to buy books, if you let me know in advance, I will have books with me. If you have a book and you'd like it signed, you can just stop by the encampment. We're fairly obvious. We're the big Viking encampment with the big fire pit thing. Um, if it means anything to you, we'll be near cabin 10, and the Gaga Court is what I believe they finally decided on because we have a lot of people camping with us. Um, but I will be at the site from noon till 1 every day, um, so that people who have heraldry and want to talk can come and find me, and also so that I can eat lunch. Because oftentimes I never make it back to my campsite to eat food, and so I'm just kind of I don't eat. That's a bad thing. So no more doing that. I'm actually going to have office hours at my campsite. It's all good. I'm hoping I'll see a lot of you there. Feels free to stop by. And like I said, if you want a book and you don't have one, let me know before Harper's, and I will happily bring a couple of books along and sell them to you. If you are already have a book and you would like it signed, bring it along. I'd be very happy to do that. Um, I'll also probably be taking pictures for the Reenactors Cookbook that's coming up. I'll be working on that this November because I need to get it out of my head and onto paper. I've had so many requests for this book. Um, I really can't turn down the requests at this point. I very much would like to get the recipes and the information out there because you know what? People are asking me to share recipes and people are asking me to share food nerdery, and I'm all about that. So that's what I'm going to be doing. There's going to be a lot of different recipes ranging from vegan to vegetarian to all meat all the time because I'm feeding all sorts of people now and I'm so proud of the fact that I have these new recipes. I actually rearranged some of the recipes in the book to include a number of vegan recipes that are period. So um, with that, I will let you go, but I hope you have a great week. And please go out, take a look at the anthology Paradise Found Tales from the Library. It is so worth purchasing. You're helping out someone else and you're giving yourself a great series to sit and read through and to inspire you in your own writing because reading really does help when you are going out to write. So I hope you have a great week. I will not be here on Monday because I will still be at Harper's Retreat. I should be here sometime on Tuesday or Wednesday. So look for me next week. And maybe, if everything goes well, maybe I'll do a very short live stream from the event. So we'll see what happens. Love you guys. Have a great week. Bye.